Okay, June 29th. The name of the class is the Living in the Realized Presence. And let's see here. I went to the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary. It's by Charles Fillmore. And I looked up the presence of God. The presence of God is the awareness of spirit within one's own being. It manifests as increased life, peace, love, and a deep sense of spiritual joy. Then it says, go look at abiding presence. And this abiding presence is Christ. The presence of light, peace, joy, love, and the substance that is ever within, I want you to listen now, ever within, about, before, and beside you. That means the presence is everywhere, all around you, does not ever change, is always there. It is in and of, around, about, all throughout space, the universe. That is the kingdom of heaven. So you are never in the kingdom of heaven. That's why you will never see me put something on Facebook like, to my wife, happy heavenly anniversary or happy heavenly birthday, because every day is a day in heaven. There's no place for you to be other than in heaven. Just like when we were talking, the example a while ago, when Clara went out by herself and was successful and came back, well, she couldn't help but be successful because she was heaven going out, she was heaven coming back. Wherever she went was heaven. Everything you're looking at is the presence of God. Everything you're feeling, everything that you see, everything that you touch, smell, it's the kingdom of heaven. It just doesn't look like it. I've had experience with this all week. And then I asked myself, would heaven be hacking into my messenger and sending people out pictures and all this kind of stuff? Would heaven be doing that? Would God be doing? Well, God can't do anything to himself. God can't hurt himself. God can't do anything that is impure, lascivious. I can't either. Why? Because I'm all totally enveloped and wrapped up in what God is. There's nothing to me other than God, the presence. Now, my job is to abide in that. And I thought, wait a minute, when am I not abiding in that? Never. I'm always abiding in that because that's what I am. Well, who is this uncircumcised Philistine called, what's his name? Goliath. Who is this dude? What is he doing? Going out of here with a wet head and catching a cold, getting sick, losing parts of his heart. Who was Clara? It was Clara who said this, putting his body parts all up on for people to see and seeing them in the streets and looking ridiculous and, pants down below their waist and dirty underwear and all this mess you see. And remember when they used to always say, all black people look alike. It's just that some of them light-skinned. But think about it. That's the presence of God. It's just, what are you seeing? Everything out there is the presence of God. There's no such thing as somebody who is separate and apart from God. There's no such thing. It can't be. It's impossible. Okay, so as we have just said, the Spirit of God is everywhere. There's a scripture in Jeremiah. And I take it like this. It says, does not my spirit fill all space? That's my translation of it. In Jeremiah, it says, do not I fill heaven and earth? Now, if you fill up something to the brim, can you get anything else in there? You ever tried, you pack your suitcase and you got it filled to the brim. You can't get nothing else in it, and you start trying and it starts not buckling up. Why? Because God is totally inclusive, includes everything. I don't care what it is. Your broke down car or your brand new car. God is all there is, and we just need to come to that conviction. What do you mean, need to come to that conviction? You already at that conviction. There's this outer you, this Goliath dude, he's never going to come to that conviction because he thinks he is something in and of himself. He thinks he can do something. He thinks he can fix it. When we had a president, number 45, what did he say? Can't nobody fix this but me. Right. And he's running around trying to fix it. Trying to fix his situation. Not yours. His. But that's Goliath. David said, who is this uncircumcised Philistine? And took one smooth stone and sent it right to his forehead. You know why he sent it there? That's where they call it the third eye. That's what allows you to see the truth, to see the reality of what really is. The mind of Christ is looking through that eye and saying, oh, that's not who I am. I am spirit. I am the Christ. There's nothing happening to you. Nothing. I don't care what it looks like. All you got to do is claim who you are. Somebody said to me the other day, all I got to do is claim it. I said, claim what? Well, you know, it's like I'm trying to get this job. I got to claim it. Okay. What do you literally mean by I got to claim it? I'm going to claim this job. I'm going to get this. Okay. If you claiming, do you believe? That's next week's talk, by the way, about belief. But here you claiming. Claiming what? Some material thing? There's no such thing. There's only the Spirit. And it's everywhere. I fill up heaven and earth. There's nowhere that I am not. If I make my bed in hell, thou art there. Who is the thou that's there? The one that made his bed in hell. Oh, man, I need to come. What's your boy's name? Was it Samson? I'll shake myself. What is he saying? I'm claiming who I am. I ain't claiming no stuff. Look, the charismatics used to say, this ain't hell, it ain't hot, and I ain't here. Okay. Ask the people in Texas right now, is it hot? Is it hell? Are they there? And what are they doing? They're looking for this Governor Abbott. Where is that guy? They're looking for them to do something about the heat. And they still down there trying to make a decision. They said, well, it may not make sense, but is it too costly to put air conditioning, y'all ready for this, in the jails where people are, and it's 3-digit temperatures in those prisons, in the hundreds, the heat inside, and they're saying, we got $250 billion or something like that, but we're not going to spend it on that. We're going to let prisoners die. That's what I'm talking about. That's Goliath. That's the guy walking around that's vulnerable, not paying attention to the fact that he's covered in armor. He's all straight, but his third eye sitting there exposed, ready for a stone to pop it. And the stone that hit him was the one. God is saying, y'all ready for this? When you start acting unruly and you start looking like you sick and you don't feel that, God is saying, that ain't me. That is not me. I am not sick, diseased, broke, poor. That's not me. So, since I fill all space, Jeremiah 23 and 24, I want to look at Ephesians. Let me call it up right quick. Ephesians chapter 1. And it is, where'd you go? Ephesians 1, verse 20. I think Ephesians 1, verse 23. I'm sorry, I got to pull it up in my Bible because it decided to hide from me on my phone. Ephesians 1, verse 23. And has put all things under his feet. That means understanding. Okay? The only thing you can stand on is your understanding. And made him who is above all things, that's you, the head of the church, which is his body and confirmation of him who fulfills all things and everything. Who is it who fulfills all things and everything? God. My I am awareness. That which is within me. My own being, as Lillian DeWater calls it. See, that's who I am. I am my being. I am not this person on the outside that appears and saying, I'm Goliath and I can fix it. That is not going to work. Now, if we look at John 15, I got quite a few scriptures today. If we look at John 15, and I think we're talking about, we're going to start around verse 4. I'm going to read it from the King James. Abide in me, and I in you, and as the branch cannot bear fruit of itself, except it abide in the vine, no more can you except you abide in me. That means the me is the self, the I am awareness of God within. And I need to abide. That's what I mean by claiming it. Okay? Now, verse 5. I am the vine. You are the branches. He that abideth in me, and I in him, the same bringeth forth much fruit. For without me, you can do nothing. Now, for some reason, people think that the fruit they're going to bring forth is going to be money, possessions. It never dawns on them that if I abide in who I am, that's all it's saying. I'm going to produce fruit, and that fruit's going to be what? Love, joy, peace, faith, patience, meekness, kindness. You know, Rocco Errico came out with a beautiful thing about what meekness was. He called that pliability. In other words, like a big weeping willow tree. When the wind blows, it just bends down. When the wind goes with it, it comes back up. See, when the storms of what we're calling this lifestyle, not life, there's no storm in life. If there's a storm in life, it's all good. But there is a storm in lifestyle. Most of the time, the storm in lifestyle is, oh, no. I bought this $1 million house, and I got laid off. I got this. I got all this debt. That's the storm of lifestyle. And so if you are abiding, you can be pliable, and things will fall back in place. But if you're not producing the fruit of meekness, because nobody is going to walk through what we call this world unscathed as far as the outer is concerned. You're going to get pushed in the chest. You're going to get hit by rocks. There's no way through it. All the way through. However, if we were taught from the time that we were, as the old folk used to say, knee-high to a duck, if we were taught who we were and to abide in that, then we would be more capable of turning within and realizing the Spirit of God is everywhere. Your whole job in life is to constantly realize the presence. Whether you feel it or not, you have to know that it's there. I feel it. I feel it every morning and all throughout the day. When stuff starts hitting at me, I start feeling it. I really do. It's just, I'm looking for it. If I had a kid that I send outside to play and he's supposed to be in the yard and I go out there and he's not in the yard, what's the first thing I'm going to do? I'm going to start looking for him. Well, this presence is something that I'm constantly looking for. Why? So I can abide in it. What do you mean? Well, in principle, I am abiding in it. In practicality, it may not look like it. Remember, we're looking through a glass darkly. It looks like we're going through all kinds of hell. However, how pliable are we bringing forth the fruit of meekness when we're going through that? Or are we reacting to whatever is going on and we're not pliable? But we're always pliable. We just need to keep realizing who we are, and we're realizing the presence is filling myself all the time. I am never not in the presence of God. I am always, Joel Goldsmith calls it the sea of spirit. I am always totally immersed in that. See, because verse 6 in John 15, if a man abide not in me, he is cast forth as a branch and is withered, and men gather them and cast them into the fire, and they are burnt. See, that's what would happen if the people who are in the prisons, the people who are struggling out in Texas right now, what would happen if they would have said, wait a minute, I'm abiding in the vine. This is who I am. Wouldn't it do something? Wouldn't it make them more comfortable? But that's not what they're doing. They're depending on whoever sent them to prison to fix their situation. You ever had somebody, once they cast doom on you expect them to fix it? They're not. The only thing they're going to do is make life as comfortable for them as possible. Verse 7, if you abide in me and my words abide in you, you shall ask what you will, and it shall be done unto you. I'm going to get into that a whole lot more next week. Ask what you will. Well, what if I ask for something wrong? I don't know what that is. I can ask what I want and receive it right then, and it's done. Now, but the whole point is, God believes it. See, God believes it. Verse 8, herein is my Father glorified, that you bear much fruit. So shall ye be my disciples. How many people do you know in Christian churches? We ain't going to even get into the Muslims because I don't know much about that. And we ain't going to get into the Jews and none of these, but we will get into the Christian churches right now. How many people you know in the Christian church are sitting around saying, Father, please help me bear fruit? And they know that the fruit is going to be, the first one they jump at that they don't want to bear is patience. Why? Because that means I'm going to get a trial. Something's going to come on me hard, so I got to help. And that's so far from the truth until it's not funny. The only thing you're being patient about is to receive the revelation of the presence of God within you. That's it. That's patience. Every time you acknowledge the presence goes before me to make the crooked places straight. Every time you acknowledge this presence, in this presence, there is fullness of joy. Moses hung around the mercy seat all the time. He was smart. He realized that only through the presence of God he's going to get through that Red Sea. And guess what? The only way through that was stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. So who went through the Red Sea? Was it Moses and millions of people, or was it God? God went through the Red Sea. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. God went through the Red Sea, not folk. It looked like people, but it was God. God saying, hey, I already said, let there be light. My light is on you. Jesus said what? You are the light of the world. How many of us go through the day, all day, every day, going, I am the light of the world. I can go where I want to go and come back from where I want to. I'm good. I'm straight. I never will forget one time, my grandson, Jamal's little boy, he was little then, Ahmad. He was showing out, whatever. I said, Ahmad, look, you got to, he said, I'm straight, Grand. I'm straight, Grand. Yeah, you straight. And Jamal said, you straight, all right. Little kids think that whatever they do is all right. Am I lying? A little kid does not go do something and then go, I wonder, was that all right? But that's what we do. We ask God for something, we go, we wonder if we're going to get it. Don't we do that? Wonder if he see it all right. Forget all that, man. Verse 8, herein is my Father glorified. What? That we bear much fruit, that we be disciples. And verse 9, as the Father has loved me, so have I loved you. Continue you in my love. How many of us are continuing in the love of Jesus Christ? That's the stuff I be asking myself all day long. Am I continuing in the love? Why would I want to continue in God's love? Perfect love casts out all fear. Next time something is coming at you and you feel like, man, I'm afraid, I think I'm going to claim the love of God. It's time for me to bear some fruit. I'm realizing the presence, and I'm going to live in that presence. Right now, I need to live in the presence of love. You know what I'm saying? Something happened the other day. I felt that, I'm not telling you you're not going to feel that. I felt that thing welling up on the inside of me. It was called fear. Oh, man, how am I going to deal with this? You start feeling that little yucky feeling on the inside. I'm going, well, wait a minute. Hold on. Tina Turner said, what love got to do with it? Got everything to do with it. Let me bear some fruit. That if I'm abiding in the presence, I'm always looking to bear fruit. I need to be at peace. I need some joy. Why do I need some joy? Because the joy of the Lord is my strength. I can't be strong any other way except I experience the joy, the fruit of joy. So now that we understand that our job is to be doing this, abiding in this consciousness, let's look at a couple of individuals that one didn't quite get it right, the other one really blew it, and that's Cain and Abel. You remember, Adam and Eve have this child. They have Cain, and then they have Abel. Now, Cain represents material consciousness. And Abel represents something a little higher. He represents the mental. In other words, there are some people who can mentally just lock in and they can demonstrate and make things happen. The material people are always pretty much jealous of the people who are getting ahead. It's like there are people around who think it's unfair that certain people have gotten to certain kinds of levels and they didn't get there. That happens to everybody on the planet. I don't care who you are. Somebody told me the other day, that ain't never happened to me. I said, man, you're not being true to yourself. If you think you have never, ever been jealous of something, of somebody's doing something that you wanted and you didn't get it, and you look at them, and how many times I've watched TV and heard people come on there and they start singing, I go, man, what in the world is this? I heard it last night. They were doing a special. Sometimes I go back and look at old stuff, and I was watching an evening with Smokey Robinson on WETA. I think it was Howard University, WHUT. And this person came out there and was singing a song by Smokey Robinson. I was like, oh, my God. And the person was flat, constantly flat, just terrible. And I don't want to call the person's name because it wouldn't be fair. And I was sitting there going, and this person got the ding, 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 ding. And I got stuff out there, and I caught myself in the middle of it. Where you going with this? Hey, Reverend Dr. Michael Orr from the inclusion, the seminary. Where you going with this, bro? Yeah, you wrong, man. You wrong. Then it dawned on me, that was from 2009. Yeah, but it still stinks. Yeah, but right now, where's the fruit of the Spirit in your heart? You know what I'm saying? You don't. What are you criticizing this person? You right. All right, God, leave me alone, man. No, you're the one. You are judging you. Y'all didn't get that, did you? you are judging you. You are the only God self that's going to judge what's coming out of your head and what's coming out of your mouth. I said this to Kenny yesterday. Cain always, was it yesterday or the day before? Cain always kills Abel. You don't know what that means? Let me tell you what it means. The material always does away with the mental. The mental will say, I think I can make it if this isn't the body. They're going, man, you must be, you out of your mind, man. You think you're going to get to such and such and such? That's Cain killing Abel. Abel is saying, but I'm in the right, the people like that, what do they call that? The positive mind. I can do this. They're not basing it on anything spiritual. They're just saying, I got to write this, I got to write this. If I connect with the right people, and if I do this, this, and this, and then that material thing. Judas Iscariot. What does he say? Man, you must be crazy. How you going to, you ain't got no money. You too old. That's Cain killing Abel. I got this in mind, this idea I think will work. This will do that. Here come Cain. Whoa. Your brother's blood cries out from the ground. Blood is life. Oh, my. Am I my brother's keeper? You know what? Oh, Lord, please don't. What's the first thing people cry? Oh, God, no, please, don't let them kill me. Lord, no, okay. Now, God could have done away with Cain right then, couldn't he? But he didn't. The Lord said, if anybody kills Cain, then it's going to come up on them. Here's the vengeance. Why didn't he just get rid of Cain? Because as far as God is concerned, there is no evil. I can't get rid of what doesn't exist. Y'all want me to say that again? I cannot get rid of what does not exist. That's why no matter how hard you pray, how hard you walk around, no matter how much truth you keep telling yourself, you will not be able to apply truth to some material situation out here. It doesn't work. Why? Because the evil is just not real. You cannot get rid of something that is not real. You can't. So, he says, where are you going? Oh, where does Cain go? Anybody know where Cain went? Cain, this is real important. Cain left the presence of God and went to live in the land of Nod. I'm going to have to read Nod to you. This is going to really resonate after you hear it for a little bit. The land of Nod. Where are you? N-O-P-N-O-D-A-D. Nod. Here it is. Staggering with fear. You leave the presence of God, don't you go staggering in fear? Agitated with apprehension. Raving with fright. Wandering, W-A-N-D-E-R-I-N-G, with uncertainty. Agitated, flight, banishment. It is the land on the east of Eden, or in front of Eden, where Cain went out from the presence of Jehovah and dwelt after he killed Abel. After any positive action of the mind, there is always an apparent negative reaction. The land of Nod, as we know it today, is the condition called sleep. Thus, Nod, meaning agitated flight, wandering, and uncertainty, suggests a seemingly unguided activity of man's subconscious phase of mind during periods of sleep or relaxation or apparently negative reaction. You ever heard somebody go, they be laid back and what have you, go, man, I'm bored. You ever heard anybody do that? They've been relaxing and chilling or whatever they call it. Next thing you know, they're like, man, I'm bored. The fundamental idea in Nod is that of uncertainty of mind, bewilderment. Y'all get it? If you leave the presence of God and go off on your own to try to bring something about, isn't there always some kind of uncertainty? I used to experience it. Maybe you guys did. You send your song off to somebody, or you send your book or your lyrics or you whatever, and you send it out to somebody and hope that they're going to accept what you got because you got such a great idea. And what do? They're keen. They're uncertain that they can do something with your stuff, and you're uncertain because you sent it out to them. And what happens? Bang. If any two agree on touching the thing, what happens? It will be done of my Father. Remember when Jesus said one time, you are of your father the devil. Sometimes that's what you're acting like. That's what I was acting like, sending my stuff to people, asking them if they like it. Can they work with me on this? Can they help me to get going? All this can you, will you, isn't that uncertainty? Isn't that Cain? But yet here's Abel saying, I got a great idea. But it needs to move up to the level of the spirit. But Michael didn't ever give it a whole bunch of chance to move to the level of the spirit because Mike thought that it sounded good, it felt good, people said they like it, this, that, and the other. What happens? Cain kills it. Unless Michael becomes certain in that material consciousness now. And then all of a sudden let the mental take over and become certain, I'm going to get in agreement with these people. Yeah, you know what? If I give up most of it right now, I'll get my chance, and then some other people will come and they'll want, okay, good luck with that. Most people that want something from you, they want all of it. They want to own it. That's what's going on with this. So you have to learn to abide in this presence because no matter what is coming up, there's always the presence. We started out with what? In, of, around, beside. Everywhere you are is the presence of God. You are always abiding in it. But if you don't just go, well, what is the presence of God doing right now? It's ignoring the uncertainty that's going on in your thoughts. It realizes there's no such thing as uncertainty. Where I am, God is, and all is well. We should sing that in unity all the time. But how many people really believed it and knew it? Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. The light of God surrounds me. Oh, really? The love of God unfolds me. The power of God protects me, and the presence of God watches over me. How many people you know walking around all day knowing the presence of God is watching over me? I don't know too many, because I actually wasn't one of them. And it's like I said earlier, like in that Tombstone movie, when that boy looked at Doc Holliday and said, I was just fooling about. Doc said, I wasn't. That's what Cain said. When Abel says, hold on. Cain says what? Oh, I'm going to destroy you, man. I ain't playing. I offered my stuff to God. He ain't take it. Why? Because you offered me something that you were uncertain of. You didn't know whether I would accept it or not. You ever thought of it like that? Here comes Cain with something from the ground. Here comes Abel with the firstlings of his flock. Abel says, I'm offering my best, the firstlings of my flock, and God accepts it. Cain comes in there with something he's uncertain. Wonder if I should give him some corn. I wonder if I should give him some peas. Wonder if God's going to want this. Oh, no, that's asparagus. God probably don't like that because I'm not lettuce. Oh, man. See what I'm saying? These carrots. I don't know. You ever gone to God with I don't know? Lord, I don't know. You go into you with I don't know. Because God is the presence in you. And the presence in you is saying, I can't accept this. But if you come to God with, this is the first thing on my flock, and you abide there, if you do away with Cain before Cain does away with you, then you, the divine being, says, I accept this. Now, let's see. In Luke 12, he goes, take no thought. Why am I going to do that? By abiding in the presence. I don't have to take any thought about my life if I'm abiding in the presence. See, but when we, every time we take thought for life, we leave the presence of God. Cain went out from the presence of God and went into the land of Nod, the land of sleep. But when the personal ego thought begins to plot, to look for its own way, for answers, for relief, we are killing Abel. See, Abel, the first thing that starts in your head is an idea. Your mind says, this could be good. All right? And here comes Cain. Man, if you do this, we can, man, you ain't going to be able to get this done. Most people don't even get any further than, man, you ain't going to get this done. I'm serious. But when you can abide in that presence, this is a great idea. And I'm just going to wait for a revelation of the presence of God. When I get the presence of God, guess what? I can forget it. I can move on. You say, yeah, but it doesn't go anywhere, man. You keep hearing the song in your head every day. Well, yeah, that's all right. Rejoice. You're hearing it in your head every day because it's good. You wrote it. You love it. You like it. Let it do what it do, as the boy said. Cain always kills Abel. Why? Because, you ready for this? Abel, unfortunately, believes in two powers. This Abel in you believes in good and evil. Unfortunately, is that. And until you do away with the belief in two powers, good and evil, you will constantly find yourself knocked down, kicked, run over by Cain, because you believe that something can thwart your idea. That's nothing. That's it. But if you say, well, wait a minute, I don't care, man. I feel this thing coming at me. But I realize that I am convicted that if I give this to God. Now, you know how many people we talk about, just give it to God. How many people say that? Give it to God. Let go and let God. Right? Do they let go and let God? No. Why? Because they don't know that they are the abiding presence. As long as you know that you are the abiding presence, anything you bring to God, God is going to say, all right. Because God is you. The self. The one being. Omnipresence. What does that mean? All presence. Everywhere, all the time. So now, we do away with that, and then we get Romans 7. I told y'all I had a whole lot of scriptures today. Romans 7, 19. Where are you, Romans? Romans 7, 19. Come on. I'm going to bring it from the King James so it's quicker this time. For I know that in me, that is in my flesh. I can't help it, y'all. This just touched me so positively this week until it just really does it for me. Let's start at 17. Now then, it is no more I that do it, but sin that dwelleth in me. For I know that in me, that is in my flesh, dwelleth no good thing. But the will is present with me, but how to perform that which is good, I find. I don't know how to perform that which is good. 19. For the good that I would, I do not, but the evil which I would not, that I do. Now, if I do that, I would not, it is no more I that do it, but sin that dwelleth in me. Now, what did we say sin is? A mistake. That's Cain. Abel is up there believing in two powers. Cain don't believe in nothing but, man, no. It's a duck. It quacks like a duck. It looks like one. This material consciousness. But the Spirit of the living God that raised up Christ Jesus from the dead will do what? Quicken my mortal body. What does that mean? If I be lifted up, I will draw all men unto me. That's what we talk about. Remember Luke 15, the prodigal son? What did he do? Give me mine. He left out of the presence of his father and went out into the world, which is the land of Nod. The world's so sleep, they don't even know it. So you out in the world, out in the land of Nod, in the sleep. Now, out there, they don't have no sleep apnea. You ever notice that? They just sleep. They might go to bed at night, and I need a CPAP. If you need a sleep pad, what they call, isn't that what it's called? The CPAP or whatever, so you can breathe when you sleep at night. God can't breathe when God goes, wait a minute. The keeper of Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. He's awake. So when you go to bed at night, you ought to just go, oh, wow, man, let me go ahead. I'm going to tell you what happened to me Sunday night. It was so funny. Because my cousin, Orlando, called me on Monday. Man, what you doing? Nothing, man. I'm on my way down to go jogging. And, I got this to do and that to do. That. He said, why don't you stop by? Okay, and it was early. I stopped by his house. And he was like, man, you look really fresh. I said, man, I went to bed last night at 12 o'clock. And I ain't wake up till 8 o'clock the next morning. And I said, I looked at the clock and I said, who is this and what have you done with Michael Orr? How did he sleep 8 hours? Orlando was like, man, that's really good, man. I said, I don't know. All I know is I went to bed expecting to get a good night's sleep. And it went 8. I'm like, what happened to the 4 o'clock in the morning bathroom time? Wasn't there. When I got to go to the bed, and I got at 8 o'clock, I got out the bed, I'm like, I'm going to go to the bathroom because I should have to go, so I'm just going to go. I ain't trying to give y'all too much information, but all I'm saying is I ain't really even have to go. I'm like, what is this? I like it. I love it. I want some more of it, like I said last week. Let me, right now, but, it dropped off, and I ended up with 6 hours last night. But that's cool as far as I'm concerned. 6 to 8 hours, I'll take it. So now, we know that the prodigal son went out from the kingdom of the presence of God. And so now, we need to look at, in finishing this up, because we've run into the 11 o'clock hour, and the people out there cutting my grass, getting ready to get into too much noise. I hope y'all can't hear that. I'm going to end like this. It's Genesis 4. I want you to see something. It says, down here at the end, down around verse 17, and Cain knew his wife after he moved out into the land of Nod. And she conceived and bare Enoch. And he built the city and called the name of the city after the name of his son Enoch. And unto Enoch was born Arad, and Arad begat Bahuel and whatever been going on and on until finally they come down to a guy named Lamech. He had 2 wives, and the name of the one was Zillah and the other one Ada. And Ada bare Jabal, and it goes on, in other words, look, I'm saying all that to say, look at how many different levels of consciousness are coming forth until we finally get to Adam. See, look at what's going on with Cain. Just a whole bunch of just nothing. Just keep having babies, just filling up Nod with more sleepers. Now we get to verse 25. This is the most important verse of all of them. And Adam knew his wife again, and she bare a son and called his name Seth. For God said she has God, said she, has appointed me another seed instead of Abel, whom Cain slew. And to Seth, to him also there was born a son, and he called his name Enos. Then began, I want you to hear this now, Enos. Then began men to call upon the name of the Lord. Let me tell you something. You're going to go through all this. You're going to give birth to all of these different people that's sleeping in nod. You're going to give birth to all of this kind of stuff. This is going on, and then finally you're going to come across Seth, who replaces Abel, and Abel and Seth having somebody come out of his loins that's a higher level of consciousness, which means moving on into the spirit. You see, again, Abel was a high level of mental consciousness. Seth is a higher level of mental consciousness, and out of Seth comes Enos. And what happens as a result of Enos? You give birth to Enos, that means Enosh, means you come to the end of material desires, material thinking, material trying to make it happen. And Enos, then men become spiritual enough to do what? Call on the name of the Lord. How can you call on the name of the Lord? By abiding in the presence. It's as simple as that. If I abide in the presence, that presence goes before me. It makes the crooked places straight. That presence does everything. The Father works and I work. It's the Father that is working. That means the Father has worked already. Everything is already yours. Son, thou art ever with me. All that is mine is thine. All I need to claim is the Father. Jesus said, how long? He said, show us the Father. I think that was Philip that said it. Show us the Father. He said, have I been so long with you and still you don't know who I am? That's what you are saying to yourself. Show me the Father. And deep inside you, that self, that being that you truly are, you're saying, have I been so long with you, Michael? You don't know who I am? That's it. Living in the realized presence. The presence is there. You have to realize that it's there. It's always there. It's never not been there, and it's always going to be there. Now, you realize it in however you are, but I do know one thing. If he says, ask anything in my name, the first thing I'm looking for is let me realize the presence. But see, I've been realizing it so long, but I never knew what it was doing. It is always outpicturing the necessary form that appears to be lacking in my experience. So going and crying to God and asking him to give me this car or this truck or whatever it is, I need to realize I am offering God the fruit of the Spirit, the fresh fruit. I'm offering him that. And then I'm saying, this is what I thank you. I know that it's already there. I asked to experience that which is mine. And so it is. Living in the presence of God is what I am supposed to do. Living the presence, abiding the presence, knowing that I know when I have recognized this presence. And I know I have recognized the presence when I am no longer looking to see if something is going to happen that I've been needing and looking. Some stuff I've been waiting for 40, 50 years. I'm done. Ain't no waiting no more looking for nothing. The only thing I'm waiting on is a realization of the presence over and over and over. I feel it. You will too. You'll know how to identify what it is that you feel is the presence of God. I can't tell you what that is. I can tell you that I know that I have realized it, and it gives me all kinds of fruit. And when the next time something hits at you in a real tough way, and you ask yourself, am I bearing fruit in this area? Or do I need to, let me go look for the present. The only way to bear fruit is to receive the present. Father, I claim your presence right now. In the name of Jesus Christ, what does that mean? To be totally enveloped in the feeling of that which already has happened. That's in the name. Not, oh, Father God, in the name of Jesus Christ, I ask you for da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I can imagine God sitting there going, get away from here. Get away. I don't know you. I never knew you. Why? I just know myself, which is who you are. I'm expressing through you. Abide in my presence. Amen. And so it is.